The NASCAR Xfinity playoffs underway after last weekend at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And joining us here on the inside lane, hey, it's one of the championship favorites. He is a two-time International Karting Federation Grand National Champion, a two-time NASCAR Cup Series winner, and the 2021 NASCAR Xfinity Series regular season champion. Driver of the Kaulig Racing, number 16 from Los Gatos, California, it's AJ Allmendinger. AJ, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, I might just need you to show up to the racetrack and announce me every race. I like that.
Hey, my pleasure, man. Obviously, you've won a couple races this year, so the hype around you and I guess all of Kaulig really this season, kind of a big deal. But when I look back at when you signed with Kaulig Racing, and you guys announced that back in December, there was one thing that you said that's been on my mind ever since. Team President Chris Rice made you a deal when they put your contract together that you cannot race full-time for Kaulig Racing if you are not having fun. So my question to you is, are you still having fun?
Yeah, definitely. It's been over the last 3 years. This is my first full season with Kaulig Racing, but over the last 3 years, that's something that's been very critical to myself, to Matt Kaulig, Chris Rice, all the men and women here. That I'm intense. That's something that I'm always going to be. It's when we're at the racetrack, the goal is to win. And if we're not winning, I'm upset about it. But it's more off the racetrack, not taking it back home with me, not, dwelling on it too much. And that's something that Matt Kaulig and Chris Rice have been fantastic about, is making sure that no matter what happens over the weekend, and if it's a great weekend or a bad weekend, that you move on, you don't really think about it, and you enjoy yourselves. And whether that's out golfing or just hanging out at the shop, whatever it may be, it's been so much fun this year. And hopefully we continue that. We got 6 more to go.
And I feel like part of the fun has to be that team at Kaulig Racing, because while you guys have been so impressive this year, this team is still so young at a Kaulig, whether it's Xfinity, whether it's Cup, and your teammates Burton and Justin Haley, you guys have partied together at Talladega, on the track Postrace. You've masterfully won at Daytona. You're going back to Talladega now as well, too. And I mean, this is your guys' first season of any of you guys as teammates. How in the world did these three fairly different personalities blend so well? And you guys, it looks like you guys have fun at the racetrack together every week.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to the culture that Matt Kaulig sets for all of us. And that's driven by Chris every day that we're here. And, it's one of those things that, of course, as a race car driver, you want to go out there and you want to win the race. You want to win it for yourself. You want to win it for your team, your sponsors. But the culture that they set here is a family atmosphere. At the shop, it's not a 16 team. It's not the 11 team. It's not the 10 team. Every person at the shop touches every race car that leaves the racetrack. Now, when we get there, for sure, maybe they got a Hyper-Ice shirt on, or they got a Nutrien Ag shirt on, or a Leaf Filter shirt on, but we're still a one-team organization that just happens to really run 3 race cars, and that's the way it's set. And when we win a race, everybody wins, whether it's myself, Justin, Jeb, everybody is a part of that win, and that's the way it is. It's hard to do that on a lot of teams. For me, I'm at a different point in my life where, truly, I don't know at 25, 26 years old if I could have had that attitude. But it's set by Justin. He's been here for 3 years, and Jeb's new to the team, but it's the attitude we all have to have. And especially at a super speedway race, a little bit different when you're racing at a short track or intermediate racetrack, but a super speedway race, we know the best opportunity to go win the race is having all of us lined up together. And we've done great about that. So yeah, I mean, it's a culture. It's an attitude that we all have. Myself, over these 3 years and hopefully for many years to come, I love being a part of the organization. So whether I'm helping the team inside the race car, or even the previous 2 years when I was just watching on the sidelines, if I wasn't racing, I just want this team to succeed. So I'm willing to do whatever it takes to try to help us get better.
And to add to the team's cast of characters, there's you, there's Jeb, there's Justin. But I mean, team owner Matt Kaulig, team president Chris Rice are 2 incredible characters to add on to that every single week on pit road, in the garage, whatever. How have buildings not exploded when you five are together in a single room or something like that? Because you guys, again, I guess take a shot every time I say fun in this interview, but you guys look like that you legitimately have fun. But when it comes to those relationships that you've made now at Kaulig, whether it's the president, the teammates, the owner, how have those relationships changed you, not even just as a driver, but as a person? Like you said, you've been around the block.
Yeah, I mean, it's Matt Kaulig does this for fun. Like, and that's, he's this business side of Matt Kaulig and what he's done in his life is mind blowing, truly. So to start Leaf Filter from his garage and turn it into what it is now, and then everything else that he does, whether it's business side of it, it carries over to the race team. But he makes it very clear. Yeah, of course, the motto is trophy hunting, right? But he's enjoying it. If he doesn't enjoy it, then there's no reason for him to be here. This isn't his life passion. He started this 6 years ago. He met Chris Rice, and, it turned into a sponsor on a race team to owning his own race team to now in a 6-year period to be going full time with basically 2 Cup teams, 3 Xfinity teams. Like, he has no reason to do this other than doing it for the enjoyment of being at the racetrack, the camaraderie with the men and women here, bringing his friends to the racetrack. So that attitude, it's a trickle down effect. And Chris, we all know how, we'll call Chris's attitude, where he's got so much character. Let's go with character. And enjoys it, and like the passion that he has for the sport. But more importantly, Chris has got passion for everybody here at the race team. And that's what the biggest deal is, right? So Matt and Chris, yeah, they're my bosses, but I don't look at it that way. They're some of my best friends that I have now in my life. And it shows when you're at the shop, when you're at the racetrack. And that's what makes it most enjoyable, because the sport of NASCAR, it's grueling. And I've been on the good side of this. Year's my best year ever in my life when it comes to the NASCAR side of it. But I've also been on the bad side of it. So when it's good, it's grueling. When it's bad, it is almost tedious and a lot of downtimes. So they make sure that we all go to war together and we all enjoy each other. And if you're a part of the Kaulig family, you're in it to stay. And that's what makes this team so special compared to other teams that I've been on.
Chatting with AJ Allmendinger, the driver of the number 16 Kaulig Racing Xfinity Series machine. And I do want to step back into racing. You have such a unique attitude and personality. So I'm curious, even after, this weekend wasn't a bad weekend, but you were up front, you were leading, and you take home 7th. But I'm curious for you, how do you decompress after race weekend, whether it's something like Las Vegas or, like you said, NASCAR, it's a tough sport to be in. Every week can be a rough week. How do you decompress that next Sunday, Monday, whatever?
Yeah, you go back and you talk about how, we're still a young team, and that's sometimes it's tough because we've had a lot of success this year. And you got to remember, believe me, when I say this, I'm the first one that I forget it. Every weekend's not where you just up there dominating. It's tough in the Xfinity Series. So I guess it's great when I left the racetrack finishing 7th, and I was quite pissed off about it. It means things are going well. So it wasn't a bad weekend. The ultimate goal is, no matter how you get to Phoenix, you just want to be one of those championship 4. It doesn't matter if you win all 6 races to get there or you point your way in. So it was a good weekend, and the fact that we started, I think, 39 above the cut line, and now we're 59 above the cut line. So yeah, we won a stage. The second stage wasn't great. The end of the race, we were basically a 6th to 7th place car, and that's where we finished. So that's what you got to do in the playoffs. You got to take what it gives you. So at the end of it, you're kind of upset about it that night, and you wake up the next day and you move on. And as we talk, I went and we're working on sim for the next few weeks and getting ready for that. So that's just part of it. But that's where maybe in the past I would dwell on it more and be mad and almost maybe even take it into the next weekend. Matt and Chris, they don't allow it. That's part of the deal. We don't allow it. It's still always going to be on my mind, but you move on. We go have some fun, and then we get ready for Talladega, and that's what it's all about.
All right, AJ, before I let you go, got to do a segment that I do with every driver. It's called Quick Time. Got some rapid fire questions for you. Looking for some rapid fire answers in return. You ready to say quick time, AJ?
Quick time, let's go.
All righty, first and foremost, your favorite track to race at, regardless of the car. I'm talking NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA, karting, whatever.
Laguna Seca.
Laguna Seca. Why Laguna Seca?
That's my home racetrack. It's where I grew up. The corkscrew will take your breath away. Like it's such an awesome racetrack to drive.
Love it. All right, your favorite city to travel to for a NASCAR Xfinity Series race, the city itself.
I mean, we'll just go with Vegas. Like, we'll just leave it there.
Sounds good. I'll take that answer. Okay, so I got to congratulate you. Your wife, Tara, competing to be Miss America this year. Huge congratulations to you guys. But I do want to ask, who do you think would be the better Mr. America pageant nominee? Matt Kaulig or Chris Rice?
We'll go with Chris Rice because he'll put on a show out on stage. Let's go with that. Like, he'll start dancing, he'll get the crowd pumped up. So definitely Chris Rice. Don't even let him hear you talk about that, because if he thinks he gets to go hang with my wife Tara, then like I can't have that.
All right, well, if I see him, I won't mention anything while he's carrying around the regular season championship trophy down the grid like he was at Vegas. I won't say anything. Last one for you, though. If you have an opportunity to race for that championship at Phoenix Raceway November 6th, what do you think will be the biggest obstacle to overcome that weekend?
Ultimately, just not putting too much pressure on myself, because that's what I do. I the passion that I have, I want to win for this team so bad. Every race, I want to win this championship. So it's more on me to not let it overtake myself getting inside the race car. Once I'm in the race car, it's fine, but just leading up to that week.
AJ Allmendinger currently up front. He's one of the guys' favorites to win that championship here at Phoenix Raceway in this full-time season for Kaulig Racing. Pleasure to talk to you, AJ. We didn't even get to talk about the actual people who run the Allmendinger household, Mr. Tickles and Zena, so maybe we'll talk about that again sometime. And, of course, you have a very illustrious and interesting career in NASCAR, but hope to talk to you again soon. But more importantly, hope to see you racing for a championship right here at Phoenix Raceway in just a couple months.
I appreciate that. Let's win a championship, and then we'll do this interview again. How about that?
Sounds good to me, AJ. This was the Inside Lane on Sports 360 AZ. Keep it to Sports 360 AZ all fall long, really. NASCAR Championship weekend coming up at Phoenix Raceway.